Hey, it's Tuesday night, Total Schmidt Show, 6 o'clock. Russ Nagel today is my guest. We are on a ship together. Buckle up. Welcome to Total Schmidt Show. How you doing? I'm back at sea. Here's what you're going to get from this show. It's kind of like quarantine comedy, except I'm not going to be home. Actually, it's kind of like quarantine comedy and a combination of all the stuff I've done online over the last year or so. There's sketch stuff, live stuff, stand-up stuff, travel stuff, and of course, conversations with others who do the same things that I do on a daily basis. That's it. That's the whole show. And I'm going to record it all and put it on the intraweb. Sometimes. Usually late. Always late. Maybe. I don't know. And weekly? Man, maybe. Sort of. Could be. Either way, sit back. I hope you enjoy whatever the hell it is I put together for this week on Total Schmidt Show.
Well, I don't know how good that is.
Well, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Well, yeah, because I didn't know you had already...
Boom. There we go. No,
I didn't know you had already decided to record when I got in here.
No, I do.
This is a nice studio you have, I will say this.
Thanks. I put a lot of money into this studio.
Because here's what I've noticed, in the 33 years that I have been doing stand-up comedy, 16 on the, on the ships for the past 16 years, we used to do a lot of radio.
Yeah.
We did a lot of radio.
It's awesome.
My wife buying something from Amazon.
Dude, why would you have that? Would freak me out. I need one of those for my kids.
Yeah.
I get the emails when they spend money.
Probably should turn the phone off. But, we would do a lot of radio back in the day, and we would show up. And I couldn't count the times that they would call me and say, hey, be sure and bring your own chair.
Oh, no, that's the best.
This was Lenny today. Yeah, we're going to do this in my room. Bring a chair.
Yeah, bring a chair.
I couldn't sit on the bed.
It's like when you shot a short film in L.A. They're like, do your own makeup, bring your own wardrobe. I always hate when they said that. For a shoot, they say, bring your own wardrobe. You're like, fuck.
That's what my son, he did two or three short films in L.A., and if it weren't for what we call his momager instead of manager.
His momager?
His momager. She does his makeup. She does his wardrobe. She does everything for his short films. And you weren't in my show last night, and I can tell you once we go off the air, my son's got a major motion picture coming out end of this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with a huge star.
Oh, good for him.
I say a major motion picture. It's a straight to Peacock /
yes, it's major now.
But
all the shit.
It's with a major star, and he's 6th or 7th down in the credit list.
Okay.
And I called him when he was filming, because they were filming his scenes in Utah, and I said, "Are you cold?" It was in December. He goes, "No, I'm in my trailer."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, you get a trailer?"
Yeah, he's 6. Yeah, hell yeah, he does 6 credit.
So he's got. I can tell you the name of the show and the star, but he signed an NDA. That we cannot put that out on the internet or stuff.
Yeah, they're strict about that shit, dude. When I used to do auditions when I did True Blood back then, that show was all the shit. And every script and every update I got was sealed by NDA at a sign. I mean, and it's the script is printed. There's like a printing on the front of it, so you can't reproduce the script. I mean, they don't mess around.
Oh, wow!
And if you cross the line, they nail you for it, and they'll fire you. You're gone, and then you'll probably never work again because that's such a big deal now.
Right.
All kinds of people are telling, they're not supposed to do that stuff.
And this is the film that my son is in is a SAG film.
Right.
Now he's not SAG.
Well, he's got to be now, right?
Well,
or is he tapped?
You see, again, this is the part that you and I, the show business that we're in, you're more into the movies than I am. I'm more of a road comic. I never got into that part.
Right.
So, Taryn, my son, my wife doesn't allow me to do any input. Going, well, in my business, she's like, you stay out of this. This is a totally different business.
Wow. All right.
So I don't know what goes on, what he signs. I don't know when the scripts come in. I'm not allowed to read them. I'm not allowed to read with him. Wow. My wife does all that. All right. She
sounds like they're trying to weed you out.
I think so. They did just up my life insurance. So, and Dateline was filming.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds weird. Oh, shit. Oh, good. Classic Carnival. That's great. Of course, the drawer
That
falls
shit
apart.
doesn't happen on Princess.
No, yeah, great. Ships are older too.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's good, man. That's
Yeah, it is good. I'm excited.
yeah, good for him. Congratulations. You got to be
Thank you,
fucking
man.
jazzed.
Yeah, he's got a couple of short films. He's done a couple of commercials.
Yeah.
And he's got a social media commercial that I just called my wife yesterday. I said, call his agent and find out, because he filmed this 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's for Adobe, and it's going to be on Instagram, all over social media.
Like a new media thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And they do what's called
Digital media.
the buyout. They pay him X amount of dollars.
Yeah,
just-
plus he's non-union, so he gets
Right.
a lot of buyout offers.
And he got, he got paid quite a bit for 4 hours of filming.
No, the buyouts are
Yeah.
great. They
Yes.
just run
Forever. Right.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, call his agent and find out when that is, so I can, promote that and go, this is my son, and I would like to see it. So
Yeah.
I've only seen him in short films, and he does a lot of plays and musicals around the house. So
Good.
but
Right on.
yeah, he's doing well. We're proud of him.
Good, man. Good for him. Around the house, you mean like in the basement? And
Well, he does where he does his self-tape. He's got a studio set up.
right.
Every time I turn
Yeah, he's
around.
got it, dude. If you're in Utah, you can tape. That's the advantage now is you can tape all that shit.
I know.
That's why, he sends off the tape. He doesn't have to fly to LA all the time for callbacks and producers and stuff. He will, but for the first couple of times, man, it's good for him.
He's got lighting down there. Again, I'm not allowed in the office.
Wow, they won't let you touch nothing.
he's got soundproof stuff on the wall.
Every time there's a problem, it's, Dad, have you been in the studio again? No.
Pretty much it. Did you empty my trash? No, it's overflowing. You should have, but I'm not allowed in there.
I'm not allowed in there. Be more specific with my rules.
Yeah, so actually he keeps his office. I say it's his office. It's his studio, and it's it's a 1-bedroom, a little bit bigger than what we have here. And he's got his computer desk and all his monitors and stuff, and stuff like what you have here.
Right.
And he's also on Twitch. He does his
Yeah, I'm
YouTube
really a
channel.
big Twitch guy.
So he's he's got the bright lights and the curtains and the backdrops and stuff. And so, again, I don't know anything about it. I know who he signed with, the agency. He signed with the number 2 agency in Utah, which I guess is not saying a whole lot, but
Right.
it's still the
It's
number
still a
2
lot.
agency.
Actually, it's saying a lot.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, because there's one agency, and I just told him yesterday. I'm kind of stealing this whole conversation, I guess, and I apologize. My son, I read yesterday, Kevin Costner is, he's not going to be recording anymore the Yellowstone. Anyway, but he's got a new movie he's recording in Utah. It's another Western, and they're looking for people that can ride horses. So I texted my son yesterday and said, here's a place, check into this, riding lessons. So we got to get you on a horse so you'll know. I'm also putting him through motorcycle school so
Right.
he'll know. Because these are the things to me that, in movies you should know a little bit about.
Well, they always told you in the resume at the bottom you had special skills.
Yes.
So you list everything from, because I used to, before I did stand up, I was a chef. I worked in kitchens and stuff, and I was a pizza. I could do pizza dough and all kinds of shit.
Sure.
And it was in there, and I got auditions based on that, where I would
Right.
come in because I could flip 2 omelets with 2 pans, and that's
wow.
what cooks do. If you work a real line, you can do that.
Okay.
So they go, I need someone that's. Have you ever worked a line? Yeah, I used to work a line all the time. So you would go in and you would show them all these skills. Every little skill that's an advantage. Like you said, when you watch a movie, you see a lot of shit going on in the background. People,
Yes.
or even more, people are doing shit to carry their scene. You're
Right.
having a conversation. If you can do that while you're flipping an omelet or doing whatever,
Right.
it just looks more real. So yeah, the more skills he has, the better.
Yeah,
and no
I-
matter how stupid it sounds, put it in there because you never know. Eventually, someone's going, "Oh shit, I need a guy that can balance a volleyball in his head or whatever." There's always it's the weirdest thing. You're like, "Oh wow."
He can do that.
Okay, well there you go. See, I didn't even know that.
It's not on purpose. He just
Even
sucks-
better.
He,
He
suck-
put the-
he sucks at volleyball.
Even better. Put that in the special code. Unintentional balancing a volleyball on head. They're like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but hey, yeah, I will tell him. I'll tell that to my wife. She'll go, I know that already.
Yeah, sure.
She
sure,
knows
yeah,
everything.
apparently-
She gets all the emails from LA actors.
casting studios and stuff. Yeah, she's in the
gets
loop.
all those, and she takes care of everything. And she says you need to audition for this part or this part, and they go down and do a self tape, and and I mean, I know what the percentage of him being able to make it in the business. It's very small.
Yeah.
But hey, hopefully.
Yeah, but
Works out.
Making it is a relative term.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know that as a comic. You know, I remember when I started out doing comedy when I was in my 20s and I saw guys who were 30s, 40s. If they were working comics and I didn't know who they were, I was like, I thought this guy was a has-been. This guy, who's this guy?
Right.
But you don't realize if you're working at 40, 50, you're still working.
Exactly.
That's making it. That's success. So, and he's already in a major film and done commercials. So that's making it. Now it's just a matter of, now it's a hustle. You know, it's the same shit we went through, just not different. Don't tell your wife I said that. It's the same shit. It's sort of the same shit you went through.
She doesn't watch your show.
There's no way. I'm not in her. That makes sense.
You're not in her will.
Why would you? That'd be stupid. That'd be dumb. I could bring that up.
How did you word that? Here's what my son, and again, I'll talk about it because I build him up, and I love him to death. I'm very proud of him. Every play that he's in a play right now called, I think it's called Tuck Everlasting.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what the play is because, again, I'm not.
Well, they won't even tell you the name of the stuff he's in.
No,
you got to go see him do his show.
Actually, I went the other night, but I wear hearing aids.
Right.
And I didn't have them in. So I'm going, I need subtitles.
Yeah, for the play. Little guy holding up a card.
Yeah. So I didn't know exactly what the play was, but my son doesn't have the starring part. He's like second or third down.
Right.
But I'm not. He steals the show. He steals every show he's in. He wanted to play Aladdin, but we talked him into playing the genie, and he just
that's great. Smart move.
Stole that show.
That's a great call.
So what we told him when he did this show, this film with this major movie star, she has 2 Golden Globes. She's a very young actress. She's very popular right now. We told him, maybe, do your thing with her. He takes her to the prom. That's what he does. So they do their scenes. And but during breaks, he was talking to the producers and directors. And I said, just do a good job. And they may down the line go, hey, remember that Tarrant kid? Let's see if we can get him. So I said, all this plays a part, just do as you're asked, and and it'll all come to fruition.
Yeah, once it's the same thing with casting. Casting's the similar thing with casting and doing stand-up is if you go to a club and you do a good job, then they know you can do a good job, and they bring you back. You know what I mean? But if you're a casting director, I was just having this conversation with my daughter who goes to acting school now in L.A., and she's just in the early stages.
Sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Yeah, by Mountain Dew. You should throw me some money, Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
fuckers.
Mountain Dew.
I need some cash. But my daughter's going through this thing now, and I was just explaining to her the concept of auditioning for a casting director, and even though you don't get a part, that's not a negative, because if that casting director calls you back, casting directors won't waste their time with you if they don't think you have something to offer. Right. They're not going to call you in on a maybe or if. They'll do it the first time or maybe the second time off of type. But after that, you become in their head, and you go, we need to call Tristan for this role here because he's perfect for it. They already know. Right. So, and if you show you can do the job, that's how you build relationships going down. That's how I got Desperate Housewives as a recurring. I did it once, and they were like, would you mind coming back doing it again? I was like, yeah, anytime.
You're a housewife?
I was a housewife. I was a desperate housewife. I was one of the desperate.
I heard that in your intro the other night, and I go, what was he? Is he making this shit up?
No, those are real. I was on 5 episodes. They killed me off in the tornado. It was a big tornado, and that's where I heard I got killed off. But I was just a neighbor. There were a lot of people on the film. Nothing was on that one. There was really small parts. Yeah. It was little shit happened here and there. The biggest one was a pedophile in town, and I chased him out of town with a rock and beat up his ambulance and called him names and stuff. And then there was another one where they painted my house blue. That it was funny, but that's how it was recurring. They would just call you up. Can you come in this week?
Beat up a pedophile?
Yeah. Well, they thought he was a pedophile, but then he wasn't. But then they thought he was. It was one of those things. Yeah. And I was never involved in the storyline. I was the extra guy that shit. And who did that? And that was me. I was the who. Some guy out of nowhere.
I'm just thinking they would have had you kill the pedophile.
I would have loved to. Yeah. Yeah. No, he moved. He left, though.
Well, that's, I know here we go off tangent again, or when it comes to child molesters, pedophiles, that kind of stuff, there's don't put them in prison. I mean, you can put them in prison; they're not going to last.
No, they never do.
But rapists and stuff. I'm that eye for the eye guy.
Well, in that case,
wrong, and I don't want to ruin your show and somebody call in and get crazy. But I have no for pedophiles and child molesters and.
Well, I've been watching. What's that channel that is it Is it on this cruise line or another one? I can't remember. There's one. I want to say it's another cruise line. They have MSNBC something international business or whatever.
I think I know what you're
Okay,
talking
but at night all they show is the hidden files, a forensic file type thing.
Oh, I love those shows.
Yeah, but it's all. It seems like every episode is about this guy. Oh no, you know what it is? It's CBS. It's this one. It's Arch thing. So you know how we have CBS? They do CBS 60 Minutes and they do other stuff.
Yes.
Okay, they have
48 hours.
Yeah, that's it. 48 hours. It's 48 hours, and every episode is about a guy that somehow molested and killed like 8 to 10 girls. Like every episode. Oh. So I have it on. Sometimes I have the TV in the background. I'm streaming. I'm working, and after a while, I'm like, I can't watch. This is horrible. I can't watch this show. But these are evil dudes.
Right.
Yeah, that are just like, yeah, I killed her. You know, and you're like, wow.
No, there's some evil people out there. I watch a show on here, TLC.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people call it the Playboy Channel, but I'm learning.
We have that channel here?
I do because I bring it.
Look, I download hours of footage.
Actually, you know, I do download on my phone. I have, and I think you know this. I have the little adapter that I can, attach to my television.
Right.
And then I cast my phone to my television.
Yeah.
So at night, I don't have to watch on.
What
this
adapter
little
do you
thing.
use? Well, you have an Android though,
I
right?
get Android, but they make them for Apple.
I can't figure it out for my. I've been trying to figure it out for my phone forever. I can't for some reason.
Email Jim Brick. He had left his on a ship, and somebody found it and said, "Hey, whose cords are these?" Jim Brick goes, "That's my Apple adapter to my television, so I can cast my phone." So Apple makes them. I use what's called a Screen Beam Mini. It looks like a Amazon stick. Yeah, that's, you don't need Wi-Fi or anything. That plugs into the back to HDMI, and then it connects to my phone, and then I can cast my phone to my television, and then I can use my headphones or my earbuds or my hearing aids, whatever. Right. I don't have to listen to it to the television.
Yeah, that's smart. That's good.
And what you have to have though, some of the televisions that we have in our cabins. Like you have an LG, I have an LG. Some ships we have Samsung, some ships we have Supersonic, which is a weird name for television.
Yeah, that's generic.
Yeah, well, look, anyway, I'm going to let that one go. Something about having to do with the crew members. Bringing them over.
Yeah, bringing their knockoff TVs.
Here, we just built this.
Where?
So I have to travel with a universal remote because some of these televisions you can't switch to HDMI.
Inputs. Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So you get I use a $4 RCA remote. RCA should be another sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I look at the codes, LG.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
And I just change the input.
All right.
And then I watch.
Russ, you've given me 3 great ideas today.
So right now I'm watching. I just finished Mayor of Kingstown.
Oh, cool.
Mayor of Kingstown, and I just started on 1883.
Oh, right. Yeah, you said that the other day.
Yeah, and then I'll finish that probably tonight, and then I'll switch over and watch 1923. Because those are the years I was born.
Sure. Just you're working your way up the scale.
So long I've been doing comedy.
Since 1923.
And you mentioned this earlier. You said something about success. I've had people over my career. I started in '86, but really went on the road October 3rd, 1989 was when I quit my job and just never looked back.
Right.
And I've had people over the years, and they don't say it mean-like, but they're like, "When do you think you'll be successful?" And I go, I've been successful for 33 years.
Right.
I'm just not famous.
Yeah.
And I'm as famous as I want to be honest with you. I couldn't live like the famous people.
No, I couldn't
either. The Chris
either, man.
Rocks or the Tom Cruise or the Brad Pitts or even some of my friends like Billy Gardell. Billy is a friend. Carrot Top. Scott. He can't go anywhere in Vegas without being bombarded with people.
Right.
And I want the fortune. I'm not big on the fame, but
Right.
I live a great life. I have a nice house. I live on a golf course. have cars, motorcycles.
Yeah, they don't.
great.
That's one of the reasons I talk to entertainers on these shows. You know who else goes to that? Rondell Sheridan. You worked with him a couple times, right?
I have not seen Rondell probably since the 80s.
All right, dude. I worked with him on a ship, and to this day, you wouldn't believe how people come out of nowhere when he'll be walking around in an airport, no matter where you're at.
He was on the show that
Raven. He was the dad on
yes.
Raven, yeah, on the first wave of Raven,
Right.
which was the early Disney Channel stuff.
and he's still recognizable. And
It's insane. Like I get it because my daughters watch the show,
Right.
but you wouldn't believe you can't walk with him in an airport more than 20 feet where somebody doesn't walk up.
well, that
and say,
happens to me a lot in the airport. Little girls will go, "That's the man,
That's
Mommy.
the man.
man."
Yeah. People with it's always somebody with a picture pointing at you. You can run the other way.
No, I did not know that about Rondell.
Yeah, he goes. People come up to him all the time. So, like, one of the reasons, like, I talk. There's working, like, what I get on a ship every once in a while is like what I mentioned earlier. You're successful, making it is relative. But people say to you on the ship, they'll go, "Stick with it. You're going to make it someday." And I'm like, "Thanks, man. I appreciate that." After 36 years of doing stand up, I think I'm doing pretty well actually. I'm not. I don't feel bad. It's not like when I started out, I thought about all the TV and the film and the sitcom. But also, the longer you're in the business, you understand what goes in behind the business, and not just the fame thing, but political and the bullshit and the Hollywood and stuff. And I'm happy with this because I dictate this.
Right.
I control
Exactly.
it all. Everything I do, I control.
Exactly.
Nobody comes in and says, "Don't do this. You have to do this. You have to put up with it." There's none of that.
Right.
And if I don't want to do it, I just don't do it. That's all. So that makes it a lot easier. I think you understand the business more as time goes by too. That helps.
Yes, because we are self-employed.
Yeah.
We're self-employed now.
And you have a brand now. We have brands
Yes,
now. You know what I mean?
that's true.
You can brand yourself.
That's true. Out here, of course, we do work. We're contracted by Princess, by Carnival, by Norwegian, by whichever cruise line. So we do have people that we have to report to, if that's the right word.
Yeah.
We have to. Hey, we need you to do this or do that.
Yeah, but we accept that. When you accept the gig, you accept
Exactly.
those terms. Right.
Because they ask me for my avails, and I go, "Hey, I'm available." Then they go, "Well, do you want to do the glory?" I go, I don't think I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me, they don't hold that against you. I mean, they don't like you to send avails if you're not going to do them.
Right.
But if you don't want to, I could put down, I don't have any avails for 2024, and they would go, "Okay, we're not going to use you," and I could just take the whole year off.
Right.
I think I could retire. My wife and I discussed it. I could probably retire. I'm 63. I'll be 64 in September. I could retire in September, and I could probably live comfortably till about October. That's probably how.
That's good. Good work. That's pretty good.
I have planned my future.
Nice.
So we've upped the life insurance.
That's a smart move. Yeah. See, I planned well too, as long as I don't make it past 66. I'm good.
Well, I was going to retire. At 62. 62 in 10 months.
Yeah.
And then my wife goes, "No, you're going to retire." Because at 62 in 10 months, you can only make X amount of dollars.
Yeah, it goes up
Right.
when you wait, right?
At 66, you can make a little bit more money. And you think you can make as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can make even more money at 70.
Right.
And my wife says, "You're waiting until you're 70. And I've talked to other friends of mine that are comics that are my age, older, a little younger, and they go, "You may not make it to 70.
Yeah.
You may not make it to 66, but you should get that money as quickly as possible." Because what you said in your show the other night, I'm sitting in the back relating to the fact when you talked about COVID, about in the 80s, like shit we put in our body.
Yeah.
COVID.
No, well, that's why you see an awful lot of comics in their 50s and early 60s kicking it. Every day I'm hearing about a new one. You're like, oh shit, and that's 25 years of the road, brother. I still drink, but not like in my 20s and 30s.
Oh, no.
I was breaking every rule. And the stuff, I'm surprised I'm kicking. I'm glad I didn't hit major fame in my 20s because I wouldn't be alive right now.
I know. I look at the people that are, the people that did hit the major fame in their 20s and 30s, and some of them have cleaned up, and Robert Downey comes to mind.
Yeah.
But then you get the other people that are still whacked out of their skulls, and that would have been. We lived the rock star level on a different level, the rock star life on a different level.
Right.
And thank God I wasn't at that other level, because
Right.
I've been clean and sober now for 20 years, and if it hadn't been for my wife and what I believe in God, that I wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
I was well on my way to being probably dead.
Yeah.
And got out here. Well, I quit drinking before I got offered the ships in 1998.
Yeah.
I was still drinking in 1998. Had I taken the gigs in 1998, I probably would have been fired that week or the next week, because they would have said, "Look, Russell, you can't be taking the stretchers and riding them down the stairs. You can't be knocking on the bridge door at 4 a.m. Going,
Can I drive?
You can't be drunk dialing other customers." So I was doing stupid stuff that we could get away with in the hotels.
Yeah.
Remember the hotels? They would call the comedy club and say, "Hey, your comics are doing this. Well, we'll take care of it."
Yeah.
Well, out here, the captain, he's in charge of safety and security. You got the staff captain under him, then you got the hotel director. They don't play games out here.
Yeah.
This is very serious out here. When they're in charge of anywhere between 1,500 and 6,000 passengers, safety, for crew and passengers, they don't play the games that I played, that I thought was funny back then. But turns out, no, it wasn't funny. I'm not embarrassed of what I did. Maybe I'm embarrassed. I'm not. Maybe I'm ashamed. I don't regret it. I had some great times.
Yeah, right.
That's some good times.
Yeah, I'm just, some of it I'll look back and I'll be surprised. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I'm okay after that one.
That's true too.
But I see people make mistakes now, and I try to remember, like, there's a football kid my brother's talking about, this kid that might get drafted. He's in trouble now. He's like, I guess the Bears were thinking about drafting him, and I guess they brought him up on charges because he was in the middle of a drag race and the other guy got killed. So now he's partially liable, and I'm reading all this and going, I could see me doing that at 19. Like when I was 19, I could see me. I did drag race at 19. I could see that. And then the kid lied about it, and I said I could see me doing that too. I mean, I guess it depends on how deep the character stuff goes with this kid. But I'm always amazed when I see, especially athletes, guys like Kevin Garnett. Always was one of the guys I was always I was more impressed with him, and LeBron James for that matter. But Kevin Garnett, because these guys were 19 and they were in the NBA, and everybody knew who they were. And the thing about Garnett, his entire career, you don't hear any shitty stories about him. You don't hear him. He was in a club. You don't hear any of this bad. Even LeBron James. I'm sure there's stuff we're not hearing about.
I think same with Kobe. Kobe wasn't that way.
Right. I'm sure there's stuff we're not hearing about. But this day and age, also, it's harder to not hear about stuff.
Right.
So if it's LeBron or somebody is doing something out there and you're seeing it or hearing it and not hearing about it, he's got real good people around him, because there's cameras everywhere now.
Exactly.
Phones, cameras, people. You can't be How many times have you heard about a guy years ago and somebody goes, "That guy was an asshole"? You're like, "Oh, I had no idea."
I get that a lot. People, they come out here and they go, "Hey, Russ Nagel, working with you. I've heard about you.
I heard you were an asshole."
Yeah, I go, "What'd you hear?" One guy goes, "I heard you were a dick." Is there a ghost in this room?
Whose ringtone is that?
That is my... So I have security cameras around my house.
Right.
And that one is set to my backyard. And so when my dog is let out or somebody comes in, there's a ghost in my yard.
Right.
So I don't know why I've never changed that.
Fuck, that noise will make you jump at 3 a.m.
I turn it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, man. Who's in my?
That's like one time in the cabin. You know how when we turn off the lights in there, people don't understand because we have no windows. It's so dark.
Yeah.
Right? Well, one night I had hung up on the foot of my bed on the wall. I had hung up my hoodie, and I put it on a hanger, but the hoodie part, it looked like a body.
Right.
And I woke up and the light from the bathroom.
So it looked like death was in your room?
So it looks like
Yeah.
Look, there's my dog again. He pees a lot. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb or something, otherwise he's probably just trying to get out. Hang on one second. There we go. So, getting back to the people that we're talking about things that we did as kids. My son that I talk about, my youngest, I have 6 children, which probably scares a lot of your listeners knowing that I'm reproducing. But Taryn, my youngest, he's 19. He turned 19 in December. He drives a Camaro, maybe he bought it, maybe he didn't.
You don't know where the Camaro came from?
Yeah, I know where it came from. But his friends go, "You're rich because you drive a Camaro." I go, "Tell him you're paying for that Camaro," which he's not.
Right.
He doesn't pay the gas. He doesn't pay the insurance. His mama, he's a mama's boy. I'm telling you.
The insurance for a Camaro for a 19-year-old boy has got to be up there.
Actually, he's on. I don't. It's not too bad, but it's because we fudged on his grades and.
Sure.
But the point is, he's got a Camaro that is it's fast, but according to him, he's never raced it. When I'm in it, like I was in it the other day, I was going somewhere, and car next to me, big diesel truck, whatever, a Dodge Ram, whatever it was. But he's and I'm like, and I'm talking to my old lady on the phone. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my wife on the phone. And she goes, I go, hang on a second, let me kick this dude's ass. So sure enough, the light changes. He takes off. And I stay beside him for about 2 seconds, and I just stomp it and leave his ass. Right. And so then he gets up in front of me and does what I think they call it the coal roll, because it's a diesel. When you're the diesel truck in front of you, like a family truck, not the big trucks. Right. They do something and it blows all the black smoke out.
Oh, okay.
I think it's called a coal roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so he did that to me.
So he pooped on you? That's his thing?
Pretty much. But I had the windows up. It's not bad. I have a 2-seater ragtop Cadillac Alante that I keep the roof down. So if you coal roll me there, I'm going to end up in blackface, and I'm going to lose all my I'm going to lose all my gigs. He went blackface. No, I didn't do that. This guy did it. So that's what he did. But I raced him, and then another time I was with my son, and we pulled it next to a Dodge Challenger or a Charger, and I knew this guy wanted to race. So just when you're in a Challenger and I'm in a Camaro, or vice versa, somebody's wanting to race. Right. And so we rounded the corner and we stomped it, and I left this guy in the dirt because mine's V8. Most of these are 6-cylinders. Right. All right. So the point is, I asked my son, have you ever raced? He said no. But when I was his age, at 15 or 16, driving my mother's Ford Pinto, dude, I was racing in that car. Yeah. And no seat belts. Have 4 or 5 of your friends in there all drinking little Miller Pony drink. Right. And I look back at this and thank God that I didn't hurt myself or someone. Yeah. And so I'm so glad that I'm sober now and I think a little better.
Dude, my mom used to have a 1979 Ford Pinto orange, bright orange. And I would drive that car around. And I used to do neutral drops in it all the time. That was my big thing. Neutral drops when it's got the stick right there, the thing. So you put it in neutral and you gun it, and then you drop it in a drive, and it's just so right away. It's just so so the engine revs up when you're neutral. You kick it in a drive and it kicks in and you take off. So you always drop a patch and you always take off. And another friend of mine had a Pacer or had a Pinto as well. So we used to race. Him and I used to race all the time. These Pintos. Couple of idiots. Yeah, fucking. Two guys doing neutral drops. Guys with real cars are driving by looking at this is back during, it's 79, so the Trans Ams are out there, I look like an idiot. Bright orange car.
But we didn't care.
I didn't care at all, dude.
We did what I did in my
those in the lawn jobs. We used to do lawn jobs all the time.
Sure. God, I could. Oh my God, the police are going to come get me. Is there a statute of limitations?
Yeah, there is. I think we're okay as long as no one.
We were like in my mom's Pinto. What we would do, especially the nights it would rain, you got the emergency brake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You'd go down the road and pull that emergency brake and slide. Yeah. And then what we did, and I tore my mom's car up. We should go down the road, and you could turn the car off, right? Yeah. And then when you would turn it back on, that fuel combustion would backfire. Really? So it sounded like a gun.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, we used to scare the hell out of people.
Oh, no way. Never thought of that, right?
Yeah, we did that. And one time I did it. I'll never forget this. We're going over what we call the Shreveport-Barksdale Bridge, which goes over from Bossier City to Shreveport. And the people that are listening will know what I'm talking about. And me and my friend were on there, and I'm going to backfire the person that's walking across the bridge. And when I did it and turned it back on, it blew the exhaust manifold from the manifold. So now my mom's got to drop like $2,000 to get this thing fixed.
No.
I know. I never told her. I'll tell her now. She's passed.
Yeah.
She'll forgive me. But I tore that car up, and it's just. But I was, see, in Louisiana, we got our license at 15 years old.
Right.
Now they've since changed it to 16 because we're more mature.
Sure, that's way better. That's all you need.
Yeah.
16's perfect.
But people ask me about my motorcycle license. I've had a motorcycle license since I was 15.
Yeah.
I've never gone without a motorcycle license.
Yeah.
And I've been on motorcycles since I was 9.
Wow.
You know, as far as riding mini bikes and then street bike or dirt bikes and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the good old days. And once again, back to my son, my wife is teaching him. So my wife and I made a pact a long time ago. Well, we made vows. We said we'd stay together till death do us part.
Yeah, it's like a contract.
Yes.
You can break it, though. I found that out, by the way.
I broke the first one. But the point, I told her, I said, I don't care what happens. I will never, ever divorce you. And I hope you, because I will not allow my son to grow up in a broken family, because I came from a broken family. You know, I had a dad that wasn't around. I had a stepdad that wasn't around. And then my mom pretty much raised the 6 of us, you know, by herself, working jobs. And then I got married, and my first wife and I got divorced. My 2 boys grew up without me. I was there as much as I could be. And then my wife that I have now, she was divorced and had 2 daughters. So I've raised those 2 as my own. See, they're 31 and 27. I've had them for 21 years. So, and they'll go, this is my stepdad. I go, I'm your real dad. They'll go, well, he's my best dad. Which makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Because I'm the one that's provided for them for the past 21 years.
Right.
I mean, well, yeah, I was going to say there are other. No, they haven't. I'm the one that's bought them cars. I'm the one that's bought them clothes.
Right.
But when I said I do, they were part of the package.
Right.
You know, and like I told you in my shows, their names are Excess and Baggage.
Right. That's good. That's great. That's perfect. So your youngest is 19. He's 19?
Taryn is 19
years
years
old.
old.
Acting and stuff.
Yes, he's been acting since he's been acting and in plays since he was 6 years old.
Does he come with you on a cruise ever? Every once in a while they do, right?
He's been on a cruise with me once or twice with his mom, but he's at the age now that I've talked to them on this ship about bringing him with me.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is they can't join mid-ports like you and I do.
Yeah, and the back to front.
They have to join. So,
Right.
And him being 18 or 19, he would have to be like on a 3 and a 4 day cruise with me, so where he could join, say, in Long Beach.
Right.
And I would join, and he would stay on with me, but he would have to stay in my cabin unless I want to buy a cabin, whatever, which I can do that. But I asked him, I said, if he stays in my cabin, because, you know, I have the double bed or whatever.
Right.
I mean, he could sleep with me, but I said, could you guys move me to a bunk cabin? And they go, oh, no, we can't do that. And
Right.
I would talk to the hotel director, but he wants to come with me, and I think it would be fun for him, a little father-son trip. You know, he goes, you'll let me drink, won't you, Dad? Because he doesn't drink. His mom has instilled good things into that boy. I mean, I asked him the other day, a Ring camera has a new camera for your car. Mm-hmm. You know, I have Ring cameras around my house.
Right.
Now they have one for your car. It's in real time. Mm. You can set it up. You can watch it on your phone. And I said, Taryn, would you care if I put that in your car for collision purposes, whatever purposes? He goes, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I forgot where I was going with this story, but my wife goes, no, we don't need all that. I go,
my daughter wants one of those. She actually asked for one of those.
Yeah, I go, no. Well, my wife had a wreck, not recently, but a car ran a stop sign, but we didn't have the dash cam up at the time.
Right.
And it would have proved that my wife was in the right.
Right.
But they made it look like she was in the wrong.
Yeah, right.
I said, where was the dash cam? She goes, oh, it was on the floorboard.
Right, right.
Well, you know, at least you got the dirt. So she's instilled really good things in him, of not drinking, going to parties. I mean, he's 19. He comes home at midnight. If he says he's coming home at 1, he's home at 1.
Right.
He doesn't stay out. He doesn't party. We don't worry about. We were talking about kids having parties at the houses.
Right.
Your daughters probably wouldn't do that.
No, I can't. We're on the same page, dude. I'm so lucky because I'm never home, and there's not a mom at home to watch them.
Right.
Those girls are roommates, 21, 19, but they're even more strict the other way because of that. They're like, no, we don't want to fuck this up. I don't want any parties in my house. I don't want anybody over. The only one that comes over is my youngest daughter's boyfriend, and then they have a friend named Tony that comes over. And anytime someone comes over, they let me know.
Sure.
And they're real. They don't. Anna just started drinking when she turned 21, but it's very social and light, and barely ever at all. Lily doesn't. Lily hates drinking. You know, what I mean, I'm lucky. I'm really, and like every problem I have with my teens too. None of it is drug or alcohol related, so I'm blessed there as well. You know what I mean?
That's how we are,
which is really, really fortunate. So that'd be great. And I was going to bring them on a cruise too, because I was going to do the same thing. But I think I'm going to bring them. There's another line where I can do a full week. Right. It's a city to city thing. You know, it's LA to LA.
Princess Scott can do that.
Yeah.
So,
there's no reason I'm doing that.
And the same way with my daughters. That we discussed this. Shaylee and Bailey, like I said, 31 and 27. So I've had them since they were 10 and 6, give or take. And there was a couple times that Wendy Lee and I went to Louisiana for vacation, and I think we had Taryn with us. So we left Shaylee and Bailey at home, which they would have been around 19 and 15, give or take.
Right.
4 o'clock in the morning, I get a call. I get a call, and I pick up the phone, and they go, "Yeah, this is the Davis County Sheriff's Department in Utah." I go, "What's going on?" They go, "Well, your daughters are having a party and there's alcohol." I go, "Okay, take them to jail." And I just hang up.
Oh, that's great.
I hang up, and my wife goes, "What was that?" And I told her. She got right back on the phone. She goes, "Please don't take them to jail. Just run them off." Da 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 da. And because I was asleep. I was like, "Here's the thing, these kids, dude." I told somebody today, I'm not proud of this, but by the time I was 21, I was in jail 4 times.
Right.
And when I would call my mom, it would be, to come get me, to bail me out,
right,
because I was underage or for whatever reason. And I'm not proud of that, but I've done my time.
Right.
I have consequences.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I'm really glad my daughters are going through that shit. I did all that. I spent a lot of nights in a drunk tank.
Yeah.
I had 2 DUIs by the time I was 23. I mean, it was... Yeah.
I clapped the other night, by the way, when you said anybody had any DUIs. I clapped.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I was wondering.
I didn't clap real loud. I wanted people to still like me.
Yeah. People just kind of sit there and stare at you. I go, "You liars." I know some of you do.
Yeah, they put me in the drunk tank. They gave me a pillow and a blanket. I go, am I going to have to fight to keep this?
Yeah, you might have to.
Well, I had a dude. He goes, "Give me that pillow and blanket." I go, "This is not my first rodeo, bro."
Yeah.
And
I fought for a bologna sandwich once.
Oh, well, that's funny you say that. So I get put in the drunk tank. The next morning, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, they knock, on the pie hole there to put us our breakfast through. And it's, the tray, and it's runny eggs, and it's just nasty.
Sure.
And the dude that's never been in jail, he goes, "I'm not eating that." I go, "I'll eat it."
Yeah.
He goes, "You're going to eat that?" I go, "Dude, you don't know what lunch is going to look like." Then they bring lunch. The bologna's green.
Yeah. It's you think it's bologna. Like it kind of smells like bologna, but it's cut real thick. It's 2 thick slices of bologna and a thick piece of cheese. That government cheese they still have in the police. You know what I mean? But I learned to like them.
I know you.
I ate like 3 of them. Like, you guys are giving it to me.
Yeah,
dinner. I thought dinner was worse. I could handle the bologna sandwich and the apple. I was fine. That's all. Yeah. And they would throw it in Orange County. They would in LA County. They threw it at you. Fling, 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 bang.
Yeah.
You'd be laying there sleeping and you get hit in the head.
Are we talking about LA County like in downtown?
Yeah.
Because I had somebody very close to me that he spent, I think, 8 or 11 months in LA County. Ooh. And he said,
I never spent that much time.
He said that's worse than prison.
Yeah.
And he's done prison. He just got out recently, but it was funny. In prison, he goes, "I got a George Foreman grill." They were cooking steaks. He had a big 32-inch TV.
Really?
He had 2 iPhones.
Dude, look at him.
He had 2 iPhones.
He's living better than I am at home now.
Yeah, he had everything. He had earbuds. He would call me at night from his bunk, his cell. He goes, I had to call you at night because of the guards, but he had money. You know how it is in prison. You got a shot caller. I don't know if you know in prison, but you got a shot caller, and you do as you're told. And if there's a fight, you're going to box. You're going to go into the bathroom, and you're going to box. And if you and I have to box, they're not going to let it go long.
Right.
And the rules are basically in the joint is there's no hitting in the face.
Yeah.
You can beat the crap out of the body, and after they feel you've had enough, they'll break it up.
Right.
Because they don't want the guards going, what happened to your face? And you have to go, well, I fell up the stairs for the 14th time.
For sure, again.
Because, that's just how,
right.
Not that I'm a pro at prison, but
right.
I've been inside one or two.
I don't have that much experience in prison. And I've only done 4 days is the most I've ever done anywhere. So
the last time I was in the joint, or last time I was in prison, or last time I was in jail, let's put it like that, was 2002.
Yeah.
And I spent 2 days, and that was plenty. That's when the guy, when I got a DUI.
Right.
When I got a DUI, and spent 2 days in jail, and I ended up with my own cell. It was great. I had the cops laughing. They were,
right.
They like, you need to walk this line. I go, I can't. They go, I got football injuries. My knees are bad. And, I need you to tilt your head back and touch. I can't do that. Why? My equilibrium, I have an inner ear infection. My equilibrium's off. Okay, we need you to blow in this thing. And I go, I can't do that. Why? I go, I got asthma. They go, we got a lot of people in here that have asthma. I go, well, I guess their case is not as severe as mine. So, and I don't know how this happened. My attorney got my DUI reduced from a DUI to a misdemeanor DUI. I don't know what that even means.
Yeah, I don't either.
But it cost me $500. I had to go to a bunch of different classes.
Right.
And even those I didn't go to because it's all about money.
Right.
I showed up to the driving school. The guy goes, just give me the $25. Here you go.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that's how it was. I had a drug and alcohol class, was $200.
Right.
But I lived in Vegas at the time. This was in Louisiana. I said, I can't come here once a week. He goes, just give me the $200. Okay, here.
Right.
The only thing that and my wife got mad because I didn't suffer the consequences.
Right.
I got 50 hours of community service. Well, at the time, my brother was he was in charge of an AA group. So he put down on the paper that I answered the phones for the weekend.
Right, okay.
For 50 hours.
Okay.
So I got out of that.
You had the hookups everywhere.
Pretty much. And then the only thing that I had, this is sad, I had a drunk drivers against mothers or mothers.
Yeah, mothers against drunk drivers.
Sorry.
Thing. Damned.
Yeah.
Damn. They're more serious than mad.
I know. I had mothers against drunk driving, and one day I was not going to make it. I had to make this class. I'd missed the first one, and I had to make it. I was coming back from Florida, and I wasn't going to make it. And I called my son, who has the same name as me. I said, look, I need you to go to this drunk driving class. I need you to sign in as me. I know you don't look like you're 45, but sign in with my birthday and sit in the class. And he did. He said it was about 40 minutes, and so that was it. I was on probation for a year. I couldn't carry knives. I couldn't do a lot of stuff, but I know. They didn't say anything. They didn't say anything about my brass knuckles.
No, look the other way on that. They forget it. We always forget to ask about the brass knuckles.
Yeah. Actually, I did carry my knives because, again, I was in Vegas and I couldn't check in. Here's the thing about probation and parole. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
It's all about the money. I had to pay $65 a month to be on probation. I was on probation for 2 years. They let me off after a year, but I had to pay $65 a month. And what I had to do, since I couldn't report, I had to send in a form once a month and saying that I haven't done any drugs, I'm not carrying any knives, here's my check for $65. And they were happy. That's all they cared about. A friend of mine just got off, he was on parole for 5 years. His probation money was like $85 a year. He cut him a check for 5 years of $85, however much that comes to. $6,500, whatever. He goes, here's my check for 5 years. And he just got off his paper. So he's free and clear.
Right.
My whole family's free and clear now.
Good, now you're set. Phew.
Well, we do have a little brother that's We don't know about him. He's been going through the court system for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
See, the whole thing about court is you try to drag it out as far as you can.
Right.
Because by then the prosecuting attorney just goes, man, just give him a year.
Right.
But they try to drag it out. But this thing with my little brother's been going on about 4.5, 5 years.
Really? All right.
And he's, he's staying clean though. He's being good.
Good.
Yeah.
I got some sort of letter from LA County. I don't know. I gotta look into it when I get home. But I have some sort of ticket. I don't know what it is, but there's like a $600 fine I'm supposed to pay. But the letter said during COVID, we suspended all processing of tickets and violations, and now we're reapproaching those. So here's your ticket number. Here's what you owe, and here's all this. And I'm looking at it. I've had one moving violation in the last 20 years,
right.
and I've already dealt with it like years ago. So I'm like, I have no idea what this ticket is for. So I got to call them when I get home and figure out what is this for, because I don't know what it would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it certified?
What do you mean? To take the letter?
That letter?
No, it was just in the mail.
You didn't get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You didn't.
Although
get it.
I'll add this other podcast.
I got
Who
called
cares?
for jury duty. It wasn't certified.
Right.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, right.
So the thing about the tickets, so I'll ask you this. I don't know. This is what I was told. Red light tickets.
It could be that. It could be.
But here's what I've been told. I don't know if this is true. Maybe, again, somebody could let you know in your comments. That red light tickets, you don't have to pay them because as I think what is that? One of our amendments is we have the right to our accuser.
They make money on people that just pay the ticket.
Right. And if you don't pay it, they don't really do anything.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Now my wife and I, we have an attorney that if I had your position, if I got a ticket for $600, that I would call him and go, what is this?
Right.
But I have, like I said, we have an attorney on retainer that we can do that. So
Right.
I can't do it for you. Sorry, but
that's all right. I'm sure I'll be all right. It can't be anything because I know. I mean, it's not like when I was younger, I used to make mistakes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. But I'm like, I know. In fact, the one moving violation I had, I could have beat because the cop. It was like. He called me for a California roll. Where you roll through the stop sign or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't because I pulled up and there's a car in front of me and he didn't see me because there's a bus stop to the left. So by the time he came up, that car went and I was already at the stop. So he pulled me over and I told him, I go, there's a car in front of me. So I went and took pictures of the intersection. I showed up and I go, hey, I got pictures. I go, look, there's no way you could have seen me until you got in the intersection. And the cop was like. He's like, all right, well, you know what? You could fight it if you want, but if you lose, you're going to have to pay the whole thing. And I went the other way. I went, I don't want to take the chance. And,
I get it.
So I paid the whatever they call it. I can't remember what they call it anymore. Yeah. So I just paid it and made a walk. Never went on my record. Nothing. But that's literally the only thing I've ever. I don't even remember the last time I've been pulled over.
I'm a constitutionalist, not necessarily an activist like these people that go around and do certain things.
Right.
But you mentioned something about, you find out, you forgot about something. If I'm in the car with you and we're going down the road in Arizona, where no matter where, and we get pulled over and you're driving and the police come to my side and say, do you have ID? I would say yes. And they would say, can I see it? And I would say no.
Right.
Because I have not committed a crime.
Right.
In Arizona, like most states, there's only like 14 states that are stopping ID states, but then they still have to be what's called a Terry stop.
Right.
So to get my ID, I will have to have committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or something like that. And a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
And my wife and my daughter and myself, I just show them my ID. You can get out of there. Yeah, that's what they want. But here's what they would do. They want to run your license. And let's just say that maybe you just forgot you had a warrant.
Right.
Boom, now you're going to jail.
Right.
So unless I commit a crime...
you're not getting the ID.
My brother and I, we got stopped in Arizona. Matter of fact, Arizona, New Mexico, speed limit 75, and I'm sleeping in the car. We're both wearing wife beaters. We're both covered in tats. We're driving the Lincoln Continental, right? It don't look like we should.
You guys
be
look
driving.
great.
Yeah,
you look great. Look at you coming back to or going to a drug deal.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So we're coming up. It's on this 4-lane highway, a 2-lane, whatever interstate, and the cop's in the left lane. He's doing 50, whatever. And my brother's running at 75. We got it on cruise. He goes, man, I got a cop coming up. I go, just pass him. So he does. So he passes him. And the cop starts shadowing us, for a couple miles. And I'm over here. I'm asleep. I'm awake, but I'm asleep. He goes, he just pulled behind me. I go, well, he's probably going to light you up. Just, yep. He lit me up. I go, okay, just pull over. So we pull over. He comes up and he goes, "Can I see your driver's blah blah blah?" And he asked my brother. He goes, "Can you step out of the car and come back here and talk to me?" Which he did, because they have that right to do that. And he goes back there and he tells my brother, "Where you going?" Because they're fishing. They're trying to catch you in different things.
Yeah. Twist the truth, whatever.
Exactly. So he tells my brother, "Okay, well, I need to go check the VIN number on your car." Right?
Yeah.
Now, you can look through the dash.
It's right there,
the window.
Yeah.
But no, this guy decides to open the door, right? And gets down, squats down. And I'm over here, still got my hat pulled down like I'm asleep. He goes, "How you doing?" And I raise my hat up. I go, "I'm good." And I put it back down. He goes, "Where you guys headed today?" I go, "Wherever he said." So, because I knew what he was doing.
Yeah, right.
He's trying to catch us in some kind of, we're going to a drug deal.
Yeah.
And we weren't. We were headed to Las Vegas. It was legit.
Right.
It was, but I'm not anti-police.
Right.
I'm anti-bad police.
Yeah, right. No,
that's what I am.
There's a lot of that shit going on now. That stuff's in the news constantly now, man.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Like you said, there's cameras everywhere.
There are.
You can't do anything.
Well, shit, even now, there's the most recent one was that kid that got killed with the black cops, the 6 black cops. Where was that?
In Memphis?
Yeah, it was Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's footage everywhere, and even now when you watch the footage, people are like, "Well, what happened before the video?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? What happened before the video? Did you see that video?"
I know what happened before. You know what?
They slammed the gun. He's on the. You know what I mean? You know it. You saw the video.
He killed him.
Yeah.
What happened before? Before he threw a piece of gum on the ground. No.
Yeah. Well, before he was alive.
Yeah.
I know that.
I get that. I'm not a cop in the heat of the moment. What's going on? But sometimes you got to be able to control. I don't know. I can't.
Dude, they got to do this. They got to
have better training.
Yeah, they got to mesh this training with the aggressive, and then the really be more aware of mental health.
Yes.
And cops need to stop. They carry this position of authority with them, where they demand respect, but the respect if you disagree with them, they get offended. I had a cop snap on me once for no reason. I was delivering food, and I thought I knew the cop because he came into the restaurant I worked at all the time. This is a long time ago, and it was right before I started doing cruises. And I'm parked outside of a apartment building. This cop pulls up next to me. I'm looking at the address to figure out if I'm at the right place. Cop looks at me and goes, "Don't do it." I look at me. What do you mean don't? Don't do what? He goes, "Don't." I go, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm telling you. I go, "What are you telling me?" And he goes, "Okay, have it your way." And he pops the car in reverse and fucking hits the gun and comes right behind me, hits the rollers, hits the spotlight, gets out, walks up to the car with his hand on the gun, screaming at me, "License, registration!" And I got my hands in the air going, I have no idea. And he keeps screaming at me, "License, registration!" I'm like, "Okay, all right, it's in the glove box. I'm gonna get it." And he's screaming, dude. He's totally screaming. I grab it, I gave it to him, and he's like, "You can't double park out here." That's what I'm telling you. You don't talk back to me when I'm telling you not to double park. I go, "First of all, you didn't say anything about double parking. Second of all, I'm delivering food at this restaurant." And he's like, "Why don't you fucking tell me it in the first place?" I go, "You didn't ask me. I go, you didn't ask me anything. You just started yelling at me." And he just lost his temper. He just got pissed off and I was being polite, not a sarcastic funny bone in my body, and he just was in a bad mood at the time. And that's the type of shit they got to stop. That stuff. And when a guy gets shot, there's no reason to shoot somebody 12 times. That's,
Well,
not in the back of the legs,
Well, like you, I'm sure we both know many policemen. I know many. I have 2 or 3 that are in family. They're in law enforcement.
Right.
One is a United States Marshal. They are taught to stop the threat. That's what they're taught. I mean, if you're coming at them, I've often thought, why not shoot them in the leg? Shoot them in the shoulder. No, they're to aim for your chest, and they're to stop that threat, and they're going to unload 17 shots into you. Pretty much is how they're going to do it.
That seems like a bad approach.
It does to me too. It seems like, first you try the rubber bullets, first you try the taser, unless they have a gun. I get it. If they're being violent as a whole, they have bad days, but they act under the color of law by them saying, and I know this is probably where we not wanted to go with this interview, but when you say, don't do that, don't do what? What am I doing? I don't know. What am I doing?
Right.
Like I said, I agree with them somewhat, But here's what I was thinking of this yesterday, and this came from two friends of mine that are police officers. And I asked them one time, I said, let me ask you something. If you were to pull me over and you asked to search my car and I refused, what would you do? He said, I would call for a K9 and we would do what's called a free air sniff around the car. And if the dog hits on the car, that gives us probable cause to search your car. I said, okay.
All right.
What if he doesn't hit on it? He goes, oh, I'm getting in your car.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Right.
Because what they'll do, and I've watched too many videos, is the car, their dogs train, smell here and they tap and the dog scratches. Or when the dog's out of view of the camera, they'll, oh yeah, he hit on your front bumper.
Right, right.
And I'm not saying they all do that. Not all cops are bad. Not all cops are bad.
Right, right.
But there's an old saying, if you have 10 bad cops and 1,000 good cops, and those 1,000 good cops don't do anything about the 10 bad cops, you got 1,010 bad cops.
That's true, yeah.
So it needs retraining. The public needs to be retrained.
Yeah, right.
Kids today, I get it, they don't have respect. I was always very respectful of a police officer. I still am to an extent until they start, if they don't do it to me, but when they go, I need you to sit on the curb. Bitch, I'm not your dog.
Yeah, that's when they cross the line and they do things they're not supposed to. I don't have to do that.
Yeah. Get your hands out of your pocket. What law is that?
Yeah,
it's officer safety.
Right.
No, there's no such thing as officer safety. If I'm not breaking the law, I can have my hands in my pocket. You can pat me down. You can do, I said, against a Terry stop. You can pat me down. You can't go in my pockets. That's another thing. When they go in your pockets, that's a violation of your Fourth Amendment.
Right.
They can't just grab your papers. This isn't Germany.
Right.
Nazi Germany. This isn't North Korea. So, I may become an actor. I'm going to apply to be a First Amendment auditor. In case this comedy shit doesn't work out.
You should get really after 30 plus years.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna give something else a shot.
You know what? I learned after 33 years when the pandemic shut us down.
Yeah,
and we were out of work for 17 months. And you and I and a couple other comics did what we had to do to survive, to support our families, which was DoorDash and Uber and odd jobs and whatever. I learned then that no one wants to hire a 60-year-old man that's got a 30-year gap in employment. You told jokes for 30 years and you're applying to be district manager.
Right.
Because I was applying for like manager and shit. No experience whatsoever.
Just do you know Tim Walco is?
Sure, love Tim.
He's got a video online. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. When I had him on my show, he did this. He shot a sketch. It's a short sketch, like a 6-minute film of a comic interviewing for a job. And it's just the same scenario. What are you doing for the last 35 years? I'm working the road. I've been working the road for 35 years. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So, like, have you ever drank on the job? Yes. All the time.
Oh, too funny. Because Walco, like he was out of Chicago.
Yeah.
And there's a story, Walco used to put hair dye.
Yeah, in his hair.
Dye or shoe polish.
Shoe polish, right.
He was sweating one night in his shoe polish. Yeah. So here's a story with Walco real quick. You know Chris Fonseca?
Yeah.
I talk about Chris on my show. So for those of you who don't know Chris has cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair.
Right.
And he's very funny. And we're working Lee Road, Comedy Zone, Orlando, Florida. I'm the opener. Chris Fonseca is the feature act. Tim Walco is the headliner. I go up. It's a Thursday night. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I go up Thursday night. I am eating it. It's horrible. It's just not going well at all. So, okay, you guys ready for your feature act? So I bring up Chris Fonseca, who comes up on a walker because of his cerebral palsy. Then he sits in a chair and he does his show. Now, when Chris speaks, he drools from the side of his mouth. This long drool will come down almost to his lap. I mean, it'll be, 8 inches long. And he's got a napkin, and he doesn't ever look. He just pushes it back up and wipes it off. He crushes.
Right.
Crushes. So I go up after him to bring up Walco. And I say, you guys ready? You guys enjoy Chris? Yeah. I go, he's fun to work with. I go, I don't like traveling with him. I have to put his wheelchair on top of my van and stop every 100 miles to pick the bugs out of his teeth. So they hate me again.
Oh, no.
Chris is dying. Chris is dying. I go, okay, you ready for your headliner? So I bring Walco up. And Walco's up. He's up 5 minutes, and he's not getting shit. He's not getting a laugh, nothing. And he looks out, and he goes, let me tell you, motherfucker, something. If you don't start laughing, I'm going to sit in that chair, and I'm going to start drooling on myself. And then he did great.
That's great.
Oh, but Chris and I were having so much fun laughing because Chris, is one of those guys you can make fun of. He knows he has cerebral palsy. He knows we do those kind of things. Comics we're a different breed of people.
Yeah.
We're a different breed.
Yeah.
And,
we have a darker, better sense of humor.
Yeah,
about it.
we slam each other all the time. It's just if we're not slamming you, if we're not making fun of you, we don't like you.
We don't like you at all.
Yeah.
We don't want you to hang around.
Exactly. It's like when you said, hey, you want to come do the show with me in my cabin? I go, are we doing it naked?
Yeah, right.
I'm shocked that we're in clothes.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. You're paying attention? I'm from the waist down. What the fuck?
Yesterday, my steward walked in.
Yeah.
I didn't know, right? I'm in the shower, and I opened the door to let some of the steam out, and I hear something, and I'm putting deodorant on. I look over, and there's my steward, and I'm butt-ass naked. And he goes, let me clean your room? And I go, well, I just got out of the shower. Maybe you could come back in 15 or 20 minutes or a couple of days, whatever. He goes, I come back on C day. I go, okay. And he shuts the door, and I look down, and luckily because of the heat, there was no shrinkage.
So he's not walking around talking to the crew.
So,
right now.
I mean, I felt pretty good about
that comic?
Yeah. He's American.
He's American for sure.
He's white, but he's American. Too much fun.
All right, man. Hey, let's wrap this up. This is like an hour and 20. This was good, man. Thank you. Dude, thanks for being here. I was so jazzed to see you were here. I carry this stuff with me all the time now because I stopped carrying it for a while.
Right.
And then I would show up to a ship like with a guy. I'm like, God damn it. I wish I had my stuff with me.
Yeah.
So I bring it all the time now to make sure that
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me. I enjoyed doing it before when we did the quarantine comedy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to see people. Like I said, a lot of people don't know this. We're represented by the same agent.
Yeah.
And, so a shout out to Artist West.
Yeah, Artist West Entertainment.
Artist
for
West
sure.
Entertainment,
Thanks,
LLC.
Steve and Ron.
Thank you, Steve. Ron, thank you for the work. Yeah, and then I get to see guys like you, because sometimes we work out here with people, and I'm not saying this in a bad, but we don't hit it off.
Right.
I mean, our shows are fine, but you're not. You don't want to have lunch with me. I don't want to have lunch with you.
Right.
We're, you want to do this, you want to do that, but you and I were the same, and we have fun together. So
Yeah.
I look forward to
And
it.
I usually don't check ahead of time. The only reason I knew was because you know why? Because JC's a kick-ass comedy
Yes.
club manager,
Yes.
and
he
we got our
sent it-
schedule like 2 weeks ago.
I know, and I saw your name, and I was like, yes.
Yes, and I was like, oh, thank God. So yeah, that makes it better.
Because I saw the schedule last week, and I went,
It's just as bad sometimes when you got to figure it out when it's somebody new. And I'm like,
I know.
all right, man, we'll have to see how this goes.
I know.
And I always usually go watch somebody's clean show first. Like that's the first thing is I'll watch somebody's clean show because
Right.
it gives me a parameter of how good of a comic they are. I think, at least for me. And I'll watch their adult shows because I mean, everybody's good with an adult show. I think
Yeah.
most people. I mean, if you're not good with an adult show, then I can't have
Yeah.
lunch with you. I can't be friends with you.
I'm afraid we can't be
I'm
friends.
afraid we can't be friends.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
your listeners, they can find me at americasfunniestbiker.com. americasfunniestbiker.com. All my links on social media are Russ Nagel Comedy. So you can find me there. And then, like I said, I have rules on my Facebook, guidelines that whether or not you can friend me, whether or not I'll accept you, like for instance, if you've never had to pop the clutch on a car, I'm afraid we can't be friends, or if you grew up all your life with power steering, no, we're not going to be friends. If you've never had to roll your window down, no, we're not going to be friends. If you've never restarted your clothes dryer, so you're not the one that has to put away the laundry, we're never going to be friends. If you use those two cabinets above your refrigerator, don't even friend me.
You lost me in the last one.
I know. Oh, you don't have the cabinets?
No, I have the cabinets, but I use them. But my mom's Pinto, the one I told you about,
Yeah?
rack opinion steering.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But what do you mean you use the cabinets above your refrigerator?
Yeah, I
for
do.
what?
Well, right now I use them for storage because we just moved.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We
Okay.
store shit up there, but
no, I don't go
I
up there every
haven't-
day.
No, nobody does.
Okay, all right. That's
Nobody
all right.
does. I
All
looked
right.
up the other day. I found a puppy we lost. Nobody even cleans the top of their fridge, but once a year.
Shh, don't tell my kids that. That's the first thing I check when I go home. Did you guys
Too
clean the
funny.
fridge?
Get the white glove
They
out.
get really mad.
Get the white glove out.
It doesn't matter. I find way more shit before that.
I hear you. Hey, we'll wrap it up. Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, man.
All right, brother. Are we out?